Is this on? Great, good. First of all, thank you for the nomination and thank you for the opportunity to come and speak of the thing that I like to speak of the most, my city. And I'll try to just give you a few glimpses of the city, because you can never do it justice just by speaking about it and showing a few pictures, but we'll try and do our best. First of all, I'd like to just point out perhaps the most important thing is why is it important to care about the city as a concept and the development of cities? Because basically, I mean, they're quite practical cities, and if they're well functioning, they can be nice. But the reason why we all care about cities and the development of cities and what cities can actually do is that they are the providers of a good quality of life. In many respects, they are the framework that we develop ourselves, our families, our societies within. So this is one of the reasons why it's so important. And Denmark is consistently ranking at the very top when people are asked about their happiness. A couple of years ago, National Geographic did a piece on Aarhus where they pointed out that the city of Aarhus must be the most happiest place in Denmark. So it must in fact be the happiest place in the world. and this is a good start, but it's not really enough to just go to bed at night and think now everything is good and everybody's happy. So we strive to develop the city, obviously, and try to do the best we can in order to let the city be the framework for people's quality of life, also in the future. Just a few facts. Second largest city in Denmark, pretty big student population, primarily driven by a very good university, ranking consistently in the top 100 in the world. Knowledge-based in many respects, but also, in fact, much like what we're showing from Turin, a city that's been under a huge transformation, using old industrial areas to develop sort of the functions that needed in the new economy. So that's what's been going on. I'll show you a few things from there, and Stephen Wallace will also take you through a lot more slides, I think. I don't know how you. Apparently, architects and city planners are really, really fond of slides. If that's true. Oh, anyway, basically, the ambition of the city is to make an impact, not just in Denmark, but also internationally. And what we try to do is to focus our clusters within our business life, within research and development, in some of the areas where we can see that we can actually contribute to the development, not just of the city, but of the world. Because we believe that giving a contribution, however small it must be, for a city of our size to the development of in some of the important areas of the world is also something that creates identity, meaning, and quality of life in the city of Aarhus. So we're focusing on clean tech, design, within fashion, welfare, health, water, and so on. Some of the sort of main drivers in the development in many businesses, trying to use that as our way of giving a contribution to development in many important areas. So if we can do energy, safe and clean water, safe and clean food, and I think we've done quite well. We try to do that in our focus in our business development. So basically what we experienced during the last 15-20 years is a tremendous transformation from an industrial city to a knowledge-based city. This is from our harbour side, which a few years ago looked like this, and today well, in the next few years will look like this. It's undergoing tremendous development, and this is a project by Bjarke Ingels and Giel Architects, who is helping us develop the harbour front. We try to sort of reverse the process a bit, trying to create not the housing first, but all the public facilities, all the public squares. We'll have people can swim in a harbour bath, and there's a theatre and stuff like that. So we're trying to create all the infrastructure and then make sure that we have that in place in order for people to move into an attractive area that is already created. So this is one of the things that we try to do. Basically, what we want to do in the way that we develop the city is to have it grounded with the people and the business life of Aarhus. So we do a huge amount of involvement. We have a citizen board that will contribute to the development of all our policies now and in the future, in order to make sure that we always have processes that involves people, because the city is the people's city, so they need to be involved, they need to be engaged, they need to feel that you can actually influence the city you live in and the development of your local areas. So this is very important for us in all areas. Also in some of the areas that are less well off, where we try to empower the people there to take charge in the development and being part of the change themselves, because we believe that's the only way that we can actually create real change. So this is what we try to do. And one of the main drivers, it is the mayor with the funny hat. It's the captain. One of the drivers in this process is that we will be European Capital of Culture in 2017. And we believe that that's the window of opportunity, both to invigorate some of the areas of the city, obviously to create a number of great experiences for the citizens and all the guests that visit us. But most of all, it's an opportunity to push forward towards being a more international city, and also to engage the citizens in the development of this program, and thereby also in the development of the city. So we had more than 8,000 different people engaging themselves in the bidding process of becoming European Capital of Culture, and we will continuously try to find new forms of involvement. We had a great collaboration with Peter McLeod, who you might know. I think he used to be London-based, but I think he's actually based in Denmark right now. He's got a Danish girlfriend, which is one of the things that happens when people come to Aarhus and stay. He did a really, really interesting thing in Ontario, where they had to have a new constitution there. A big involvement process. But basically, a very simple idea. You write a nice letter to the people in the city, asking them to contribute to the development of your city. And by experience, at least 10% of the people that you write to will dedicate not just an hour or two for an evening meeting, but hours and hours of work, hard work, in order to develop their cities. And we did that as well in this process of trying to create more engagement in the city. So we believe that that's the way that we can actually change things to the better and create more involvement and more quality of life. So we're really, really looking forward to being European Capital of Culture in 2017, because that is a window of opportunity. Also to to get new influences into the city and new shed light on the things that we do from all different angles. Just two words on being a second-tier city, which is things that we have in common. Michael Parkinson, whom most of you probably know, did a very interesting study showing that in the development of countries, if you only invest in your capital city, you will not succeed as well as if you have a policy of decentralization and a policy of also investing in second-tier cities. Obviously, as mayor of a second-tier city, that is very good news, but it's also very important for us to stress that in all areas. And the way that we try to do it is that we've gathered all the municipalities in the greater Aarhus region, and everybody is working with a single purpose of promoting the area. So the involvement goes not just for the citizens of the municipality of Aarhus, but also from all the mayors and the people that live outside in connecting municipalities. We try to drive that as well. It does take time to make sure that you're coordinated, but it's very invigorating when it actually happens. And we're just taking off now with great speed and being heard also at national level in this way of doing things. So if you haven't gone already, you should go to Aarhus. And we're known as the city of smiles. We tried very hard to have a branding process, and we did all the right things and hired all the right agencies to do it. But this is just sticking around. The city of smiles, and it was invented by a dentist assistant in 1932, and we just can't get rid of it. So we said, what the heck, we'll just go with it, and it's still working. So hopefully you come and see in the city of smiles. But before that, Stephen, will you take over? Thanks.
Yeah, now, what I'd like to do is continue the grain of thought, but by showing how we do these things. Our city is located, it's at 900 years old, an old Viking town, and there's two outcrops, with forest on the side, these beautiful beech woods, and we're very well connected to the sea. So we're a walkable city. It's a small town, 320,000 people, but it's walkable and cyclable. This just shows how the city has grown since 1954. I don't think you can see we've been growing outwards. A comparison here with Atlanta and Barcelona says itself. We're most interested in working in this densification. And we have the largest housing estate, single houses in Denmark, in Aarhus. And the average square meter per person is around about 50 square meters as a footprint on the site, not even taking into account ground, the site of the garden itself. But we're focused on trying to densify our city to make it a sustainable development. At the moment, we're working with figures of 5 square meters per person in this harbour district. We have an architecture policy, and I've sort of linked it into these main headings: community participation, sustainable development, architecture, and infrastructure and accessibility. Our main plan for the city is working towards the fact that we have around about 5,000 people coming to our city every year, moving to our city, and we have to manage how we develop the town, bearing in mind this densification thought. So we're investing in 2 new towns. One is for 25,000 people, another one for 10, and we've identified major city areas and brownfield sites, and also linking into certain points along the new light railway system which we're in the process of building. But as part of our densification, the inner city is under transformation, as Jakob mentioned. And this profile of densifying an inner city area, perhaps in a similar way as they're doing in Rotterdam, were going high in this central business district, whilst other areas were working on a smaller scale, but much more densely. For example, this one. It's an old brewery which has been transformed into a city within a city of 100,000 square meters. But it has a university for buildings for 5,500 students, office facilities, homes, and there's a museum, I think, for a brewery here. But it's right next to the old town, so the parking area underneath this development will also be utilised by the old city museum. So we're trying to multifunctionalise the city. But this city on the outskirts of the town is only 6 kilometres away, but when we make this light railway line, it'll be 16 minutes from the central station. So it becomes very accessible. This is the first development which is on the drawing board at the moment for housing association development, developed completely in wood. Another one next to it is in similar lines, but on a small scale. The new small town for 10,000 people is called New, funnily enough. But it has a slightly different approach, and it's a private development. But working on similar lines where these small communities have a balanced community life. We have these sub-proposals combined with green areas and a small sense of neighbourliness in the community. Whereas Jacob said we have a knowledge city over 50,000 students, and we have an axis which we call the knowledge of axis. Axis of knowledge running right down from the north of town right to the heart. And these are including the university, which is first built in 1928, has become a very important landmark architecture for us also as a nation. But this is an event we have every year. All the students meet in the summer in the campus. But we have this food university's campus for research and development on the northernmost part of the city. We're building the north's largest hospital for 6.3 billion krona. It's a community here for around about 40,000 people to be there every day. It's a massive investment, and it's also linked into the light railway line too. And right now, on the harbour front, just opened this year, is Nevitas, the university complex for 2,500 students for the engineering faculty. But when we talk about clusters, this is our region, middle of Jutland, and our cities here. These are all the companies that are related to the windmill industries. And the headquarters of many of the world's largest windmill companies are based in Aarhus. So it's quite a natural place. So this 12-kilometre light railway line, the new section, will be linked into the rest of the 100 kilometres, connecting a large portion of our region. This has also a school up here. The university hospital will all the way down to the centre, to the main centre. As part of that process, we're also developing a super motorway for cyclists, which is quite an investment. But even this bridge has been designed so that the cyclist lanes can be included. This is just a map showing a super path going right through the city. We've actually got speed limits coming in force. Cyclists in the inner city. I don't know how it is in Rotterdam, but they drive really crazily. But when we're talking about a harbour city like ours, we also have to talk about reconnecting it, because the old centre of the city is here, but the harbour itself, you could actually drive right across the harbour front and not see the sea at all. So you lost contact. We've spent the last 15 years developing thoughts about how to reconnect the centre with the harbour front and also out to the bay. So this marvellous view right out towards the sea has been reorganised. I spent quite a lot of time doing this. The harbour front itself. This is where the Nevitas building is, as I showed you, and the new library, the multimedia centre is here, which is this concept diagram, being creating this new open space here. This is Docken, the new multimedia space, library building, which will become a notable point in the city. When you do projects like this, we realise that, for example, the railway station is here, the old part of the city is here. but there's a little connection across this triangle. The river is here. So we can see an opportunity to develop it across here, but we're looking at reconnecting the whole of the city by these redevelopments. This is a pearl necklace, a development from the railway station all the way down here. Thank you. Along the way. So we create this new urban loop. So when we make these new in sections into the city, we think about the way it alters it and alters focus and try to enhance it. Aarhus, the island here, this development, we try to make a recreational path right down, right through the city from the north to south to the north, by reinventing it, by making new canals, which follow the old coastal line. So you see, all this is new, and we're reapproaching it. The whole idea of densification is also to try and make social diversity and a multifunctional area. We've got 25% of all the houses we're building are affordable, so it's not just for rich people in this district. But this is the area we're focusing on now. All these projects are on the go, different phases. I won't go into them in detail, but Iceberg is one of the most notable ones. Nominated the best housing project 2013 in Europe. And we can already see there's a certain environment developing next to the old harbour area, like the Zeeland Harbour District. I think this kind of urbanification is going to alter the face of the city. We have, I think, 300 units for student residents down here on some of the most prime sites, and also this harbour front, the promenade, has become a destination on its own. It's become a very nice place to be. This process, developing this site, we call Rethink, which is part of our 2017 strategy, designed by Big and Jan Gale, architects, is reinventing the way of developing the site. So they're designing from the public domain, designing the public spaces before we actually create the plots. How do you do that? We have some monies from the fund, which is enabling us to do a special swim area in the harbour, making new squares, and creating these pockets where we can make developments on. All these spaces they've developed have taken a point of departure in the existing city. So we're trying to recognise certain areas where we think are very popular and re-enhancing them and recreating them in a new way. But all these different layers, community, urban spaces will be included. This is a beach bar, which will be transformed to this beach bar tomorrow. They're actually using the same containers and probably some new sand, but nevertheless, the idea is there. Gelo, this is an area on the outskirts of our city. If you just see the scale of it and compare it to the scale of the inner city, it's a massive area. 7,500 people living here, and we're trying to invest 1.3 billion kroner in redeveloping it. But the point here is the idea of engagement, working in an inclusive manner where all age groups are invited to the table to discuss things, using many different ways of trying to create engagement. This is a laser stream piece of art right through the whole development and created quite a stir at the time. Even all the professionals too are involved in these kind of big public debates. And not these youngsters here. We're trying to get these involved also by using smart city strategies. The younger generation, we try to include them in a modern way of participation too. So this is another point. We've been on several study trips to this site where we can see the structural changes which are taking place in this city development have led us to develop the confidence to make major structural developments and changes within this site. So we're actually demolishing big buildings, relocating people, and we just started this last week removing the first blocks to enable a new place, a new city development here. We're just in the process of choosing this project in the new park area. I can't say the name, but it's a very exciting project with all different years, age groups, and also this idea of an instant city where to try and create many of these projects take many years to develop, like these parks. But this area here will take place within the next 2 years. So there'll be a regeneration of new activities and temporary activities taking place on the go, straight away. But we use the city also as a map. This is one-to-one prototyping. This is one of the oldest squares in the city, completely transformed for 10 days into a forest. This has inspired us to start looking at the way we're making a green city, and it was incredibly popular in it, I must say. In a similar way with Central Park, this is the town hall here. This was transformed by covering the road over with grass and making it a complete park. I think it's just incredible how many people were interested in coming and participating in this. But this is the point. The idea of working with culture, the cultural city of the 2017, European Cultural City. We have many different ventures going on, but it's this kind of circular development connecting water and the city together. And there are many layers we could talk about on this, but I think at this point, I think it would be a nice way to round off with this illustration showing how lots of different cultural activities connecting water and land together, bringing the city together in one unit. This will be spread right across the region during 2017.